Hey viewers, welcome back to Ray of All Trades. You might have seen my other video just a little bit ago with a curb fine lawnmower. Well, this happened to be along with it. Let's hope that the problems are about the same. Just a little Troy-Bilt 2-cycle string trimmer. Not a whole lot of use. It is the curve shaft bottom. They don't seem to last quite as long as the straight shaft ones, but they are ergonomically, they are a little more comfortable to run just because of the angle that you can hold it at. But the reason why the curve shaft model doesn't hold up as long as that last bend in the drive shaft, basically, that runs to the other end, is always flexing at an angle as opposed to being straight. Let's put it up on the bench and see what's going on. So we're going to start this video off a little bit different than the last one. I don't like how dark that fuel looks, and then I also don't like how dark this primer bulb fuel looks. I just want to start off with some clean fuel. So, because if I start priming on it and pulling fuel and everything else, I'm just going to be pulling that fuel right through the carburetor, which it might already be there, to be honest. But just to remove all doubt, let's start off with some clean stuff. So here's a clean jar. It's clean now, I just finished cleaning it out. Fuel doesn't look too bad. It's a little bit darker of a mixture than I'm used to. But it does have a pungent stale gas smell coming from the tank itself. So while the gas here may not have been all bad, I think it had some in it at one point. Because like I said, it does smell pretty bad. I would like to just take a look and see if we can throw some fresh gas inside this thing and just make sure that it does fire. There's a little bit in there. I need to find a better squirt bottle for the squirt bottle for this fuel, because what I'm finding is I have a really hard time with the fuel not leaking out of it. There we go. That might be a little bit too much. I got some in there though. All right, so this is on, fuel's on. Let's put the choke on. Let's see if it fires. Yep, she fired right off the bat. Tell you what, let's go ahead and just put some fuel in it and see if that's all it needed was some fresh gas. Fuel lines are a little bit stiff. Let's see, let's go ahead and close that. Wow, that was an easy one. Let's talk about what we just had. All right, so the machine ran, right? It idled, and it could shut off. I gave it some fresh fuel, and I let it warm up, mostly because I wanted to make sure that any kind of stale gasoline that used to be in there was then gone. It kept returning to idle with no problem. It was choking when I would give it full throttle, right? It was basically starving for fuel is what was occurring. The reason it was starving for fuel, so either the high-speed jet on the carburetor, it's actually a high-speed mixture screw, wherever I first used a high-speed jet. The high-speed jet, you can open it to allow more fuel to come through. So most likely inside the carburetor, unless somebody's already adjusted this thing, most likely inside the carburetor, it has kind of like arteries, right? It has some varnish or something like that has occurred on the inside of that passageway and restricted it somewhat. So not as much fuel is going through on the high jet. So you open up the high jet a little bit, so counterclockwise allows more fuel to come through than what was originally set. Now, because I only turned it a 1/16 of a turn and it cleaned right up, I'm going to say we're probably going to leave this alone. If this was a half a turn or something like that and made it come back up and it was erratic and all over the place, having a hard time starting and whatnot, I would say let's go ahead and clean out the carburetor because it's probably got some stuff inside it. But since I'm not positive I have the rebuild kit, taking it apart, you know, we might be opening up a can of worms. Literally a 1/16 of a turn just compensates for what's going on right now with, yeah, there it is again. This thing develops pressure. I don't know if y'all saw that. All of a sudden gas just started throwing out of it. Let me loosen up the lid. If you guys know of a better fuel tube like that, let me know. This one here has been a pain in my behind. So opening up the high jet literally just added a little bit more fuel on the high side. I did not have to touch the low jet, which is the one closest to the motor, because it was idling just fine. It was returning no problem. So returning as in from high idle down. Now, had I adjusted this and I was still running into those exact same symptoms, something that occurs on a lot of these, and you'll see it, it'll be like, it'll be one of those things that you say, I've never seen that, and then all of a sudden you'll have a couple of them in a row. The exhaust screen will actually get carboned up, and it's from people a lot of times running too rich of an oil mixture. It'll get carboned up and it'll restrict the exhaust flow, and it'll just sound just like you just saw. It'll just kind of fall on its face, but it'll never come out of it even if you adjusted the carburetor. So this one was literally just 1/16 of a turn on the high jet, gave us back the correct mixture that the engine wants to run at high speed. Sounds really good. It revs up fine. It comes back fine. It restarts fine. So we're going to let this one go just as is. If it was worse than this, like I said, we would pull off the carburetor, clean out those passages, reset these to usually somewhere between 3/4 and 1 turn out from bottom on both of them. Start there and start adjusting from there. But once you do that, again, you've opened up all of your gaskets, you've opened up everything, and if you don't have a carb rebuild kit, this is literally a few minutes and you're good to go. I can tell you that a whole lot of professional fellers, things like that, who are running saws and two-stroke equipment on a daily basis are constantly adjusting jets, and it's going to depend on how hot it is that day, how cold it is that day. You know, most of the time their fuel is constant. You know, they always get the fuel mixture from the exact same spot, but it'll change based on ambient temperature. So they're constantly adjusting things like this. On stuff like this for the homeowner, a lot of times you don't have to worry about it. It just won't perform possibly at 100% every single day. Sometimes it'll be 90, sometimes it'll be 100%. But we're going to go with that. And yeah, ideally, the only other problem I've got is I just need to find a nut and a bolt so that this handle stops spinning around on me. It worked really well for right now because I can use it as a stand. But let me get a nut and a bolt for that, get it back together. And this is a super easy repair on this one. So I hope you guys got something out of the video, and I really appreciate you hanging out. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Hopefully next time it'll be a little bit tougher of a problem. So talk to you soon.